Yesterday I was coming down here in between campsites and shelters, and I was dead tired, and I just magically came across this little kind of stealth campsite area in here. Look at that. It's just built up perfectly. Little fire pit, little hallway right through here to where I set up my tent. That's where I set up my tent last night. And then perfect little area down in there. I just walked down and put my bear canister down, and then another little hallway right here into the kitchen. This is where I ate, and yeah, it was great. So hallelujah. The trail provided just what I needed. I had overdone my walking limit for the day, that's for sure. So this morning, I'm up a little earlier than usual. Still not very early, but trying to get my 14 plus miles in so I can meet Doug at Franklin. So one thing that worried me a little is, I bought these knee sleeves too, because my knees were bothering me so much, and I started taking a leave at the same time. My problems pretty much totally went away. But then this morning I woke up. Of course, I took the knee sleeves off last night. This morning I woke up and I reached behind my knee to scratch, and there's like a big open sore. So I started looking, and there was more than one big open sore. So I had worn some really good spots, creases and stuff in my backs of both of my knees that were kind of nasty anyway. So I just put some Neosporin on them and left the knee sleeves off for today. So I don't know, I got 14 miles to make in 10 hours or 9 hours or whatever, and keep my fingers crossed that my knees hold out. I bet they will. Things seem to work out here. I think that might be the town of Franklin way off in the distance. But look at this view. Wow. What a vista. And look what I'm standing on here. You see that? You see that drop off down there? It goes right through. Anyway, just got back on the trail. I was on track to be toward Franklin to meet Doug about 2 hours early, and then came down up out of Mooney Gap, and trail magic, wouldn't you know? It's Saturday, so people can get off and get out, and they had a whole tent set up with chili dogs and Cokes and potato salad, macaroni salad, Little Debbie's, potato chips of all kinds, fruit cups. It was wonderful. And now I am very, very full. So I get on it, try to get a little time made up. Maybe I'll just be 1 hour early for Doug. So I'm looking forward to getting to Franklin. It's really interesting how people are on the trail. I'm sure it's different for everybody, based on all of our different personalities. But for me, my experience has been, you come across, well, of course, there's some people hiking southbound. I'm hiking northbound, and that's what most people do, is hike north. But, you don't come across that many other people hiking the same direction as you, because, you're all going kind of the same speed. So, you either have to be going substantially slower or substantially faster than someone to catch them. And those interactions sometimes are a little longer, because sometimes you'll pass somebody that's sitting taking a little bit of a break, and you need a break too. So we'll take that opportunity and just say, how you doing? Having a good day, whatever. And sometimes, just like in normal life, sometimes they'll respond and sometimes they won't. So, but then of course you have people coming southbound, and those conversations generally those aren't conversations unless you really try to make it one. You just smile and say how you doing and go past each other. Every once in a while, somebody will really need to talk. I passed a Georgia trail maintenance guy the other day, and he really, I said, hey, thanks a lot for what you're doing. This trail is fantastic, and you really, you guys make it that way. And he said thanks, but then he talked my ear off, just telling me all the things behind what they do, and why they do it, and how the organization is set up, and it's very interesting. And I was kind of in need of a break, so it was good for me. So sometimes those things happen. It does seem to happen. It does seem like people coming southbound are needing to talk more, and I can understand that, because there are times when I'm on the trail and I haven't seen anybody all day, and you just get in a different mindset. It's not always ultra positive, not that it's really negative. It's just that sometimes you're just trudging along, and you see someone else and it kind of picks you up. So anyway, but coming southbound, there are very few people that hike southbound. So I would guess that at night when they pull into camp from wherever they were coming from, they didn't, there weren't other people walking with them. You don't come across people that are walking the same direction as you that you can hike with very often. So oftentimes you'll walk by somebody and say, how you doing? And they'll say, hey, I just came from, where are you coming from? Let me tell you about this. I camped at this great place last night. And they want to stop and talk to you about it. And that's pretty cool. Most of the time, I stop and talk, because it's part of the reason I'm out here, is to experience everything, everybody, and just enjoy it. But there certainly are times where, I have a plan and I want to follow that plan. Someone wants to talk. So anyway, but generally people are very nice, very helpful. Oftentimes you'll ask, something, hey, was there a little water back there? If someone's coming southbound and I'm going northbound, I'll say, where was the closest water? And they'll just tell you. Or sometimes they'll stop, they'll get their phone out, their maps out, they'll sit and talk to you figure out the whole thing for you, and tell you that, give you more information about where you should resupply in 2 days. So it's kind of a neat sort of community. And on top of that, oddly, I met a couple people out here that really remind me of people that I know. So just back a ways, at this lookout tower, I met a gentleman who was ultra friendly, totally reminded me of my friend Brian. Brian and Lisa Brian. And I mean, they could have been brothers. Like, they looked alike, had the same build, smiled alike, laughed alike, made the same types of jokes, very friendly. So anyway, just, hit it up with him, and we just sat and talked for a while and joked, and it was kind of unusual. And then a few days ago, I think maybe I mentioned this kid Kyle that I met. Reminds me tremendously of a guy I know, Alex, who came into the little gym when I worked there. I mean, started working at the little gym when I worked there, and I trained him on some various things, and he's now the CEO of the company there. But you know, we were always friends, and had one particular kind of fun adventure in Belgium one time that this very much reminded me of. I met this kid Kyle, and he was just like Alex, had the same you know, kind of demeanor and same mannerisms, and on and on and on. And so us hiking along here, you know, sort of reminded me of that Belgium adventure. It was just kind of trying to figure things out, both a little green, not really knowing exactly, you know, what's around the next corner. So I've just had some fun experiences so far. Neat people. Guy Sam I met, who keeps trying to give me a trail name. So I don't know. All in all, been very positive. Very positive experiences out here with everyone. I'm about 2 miles away from ending my 14-mile day at the pickup point where Doug will pick me up so we can head into Franklin for the night and for tomorrow. And man, I'm hiking strong today. I'm like 2 hours ahead of schedule. What I have been doing the last couple of days, I told Doug I thought I'd be there around 6, and then I texted him and said, no, it'll be more like 5, and now it'll be more like 4, so I'm feeling great. But the reason I mention that, because it's strange, even though I'm striking hot, I'm hiking strong today, even though I'm hiking strong today, I have not been passed by a single person all day. And that's a first. I mean, there have been lots and lots of people who hike way faster than me. And so I thought that was strange. Maybe I just caught a little in the crowd. Hey guys, how are you? Thought maybe I just caught a little in the crowd. But then I talked to a guy just a little while back who explained to me what the situation was. I've mentioned trail magic before and explained it. Basically just where random people or hiking groups or whoever will set up at road crossings and feed hikers that are coming through. You know, hot dogs and hamburgers and Cokes and chips and all sorts of stuff. They just do this. It doesn't cost anything. They just do it out of the goodness of their hearts. They want to kind of support the trail and what everyone's doing out here. So first of all, that stuff mostly happens on the weekends, as you might guess, because people are free from work and from other obligations, more free on the weekends. So as a group, they can get together and come out then. So everybody, all these hikers who are wanting to go and spend the night in Franklin or resupply or whatever, they are deliberately holding back these last 2 days because it happens to be, today happens to be Saturday, and there's more trail magic on Saturday and Sunday. So they're hanging out on the trail and just doing a few miles so that every time they come to a pass, they can get some free food and drinks and things like that. And then come Monday, Franklin will get inundated with hikers. And I guess that's a pretty standard kind of thing. And the other thing is that prices in Franklin are more expensive. You know, things like hotels and stuff like that are more expensive on the weekends because, of course, that's when, you know, people from the area come in and stay. So anyway, business is even happening on the trail. But I don't know, maybe that'll be a good thing for me, that maybe the the little town won't be too crowded. We'll have lots of space and plenty of room in restaurants and whatever. I don't know. We'll have to see. I'll let you know. All right, so I just passed Rock Gap Shelter, and suddenly it dawned on me, it reminded me that I have gone 100 miles on the Appalachian Trail. So I'm now a member of the 100-mile club. Very elite. All I have to do is do this 21 more times and I will have completed the whole trail and reached Maine. I don't think that's that much of an achievement just yet, but it's something. So, yippee. You know how I celebrate 100 miles on the Appalachian Trail? I just keep on walking, maybe have a little handful of cashews. Same cashews I've been eating several times a day, every day for a week. Maybe when I can actually get to 200, 300, 400, 1,000, it'll be a little more of an achievement. Who knows? So a couple of days ago, I mentioned that I thought maybe I saw Fontana Lake from the vantage point I was at, and I was way off, which doesn't really surprise me, but it's kind of funny. It dawned on me at the time that I could look over and see just 6 or 7 peaks, and that I know there's way more peaks than that I have to cross to get to Fontana. But I don't know, whatever. Anyway, where I was at the time was, let's see, right here around Standing Indian Mountain. And I was looking out and I saw this lake, which is Nantahala Lake. This lake is probably about 4 miles away. Fontana is all the way over here, right? This red is the trail. Fontana's all the way over here. It's probably more like 25 miles as the crow flies. So I couldn't even begin to see it. But anyway, I'll get there eventually anyway.